Okay, today I will be talking about a big idea around AI for kids. So, this is an idea which kids should understand about AI, not a brand new project. These ideas are ideas which were presented by three pretty prominent university faculty. The universities were Carnegie Mellon, Florida State, and University of Massachusetts in an AI conference in 2019. So they came up with these five ideas which kids should learn about around AI. And one of the big ideas, which I'll start going deep into right now, is the fact that computers perceive the world around them using sensors. So I also mentioned about this concept in when I introduced AI for kids. So the idea is that, computers need sensors to get data. So there are many types of sensors out there. And if you look out and our laptops are not connected right now, or machines or the computers right now are not connected to these sensors directly, but you can. I'm not going into each of these sensors, but you can have color sensors, you can have gas sensors, alcohol sensors, water flow sensors. But the bottom line here is not that you have to deal with these sensors in detail, but the concept that these sensors will give you data, first of all, and this data is something you would use for your artificial intelligence or artificial intelligent projects, right? So if you go further, and if I take a simple example of one type of data, which is sound, human sound, right? You have all these companies having their own sensors, right, on these devices. These are mobile devices, and you have sound sensors. They can listen to you through these mobile phones. And once they listen to it, so if I take an example of a human being asking for this, which is basically a order milkshake. It gets into a digital format, and this digital format is further analyzed by artificial intelligence. And it's not just simple digital information. The machines have to understand little more context around that digital information. And each language, for example, has its own vocabulary. That's kind of basic. You need to understand the words. Let me use my marker here. Vocabulary. And then you have context around the domain itself. In this case, we're talking about food, so the domain meaning food. So I have to, understand what this means, like what type of food it is. I also have accent, right? So, you have if you have a French person speaking English versus an native speaker coming out from North America, there would be accent, and that accent has to be understood by these machines. Obviously, there's grammar and there's intent. And then the intent, what I mean by intent here is, this person might be asking, let's say, Alexa to go and uh, order a milkshake from some store. So there's some intent behind this ask, right? So all this stuff is important for kids to understand. And without further ado, I will break this down to a curriculum. So the big idea again is for kids to understand that computers use sensors to perceive the world. And when we break it down to different grades, grade 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 12, we at grade as early as grade 3 to 5, we will introduce this concepts of how to understand applications that respond to human inputs, right? So whether it's drawing, whether it's a human gesture or movement, we'll actually play a physical game called to understand how movements are perceived. And then that leads into machine learning, and we will use tools from MIT to introduce these basic machine learning techniques. And then when you go to grade 6 to 8, we will do some kind of classification, uh, explain models, And when grade 9 to 12, we'll basically again piggyback on the 6 to 8 curriculum and go a little more advanced with training perceptual classifiers. So that's how we break down that big idea for kids into actual learning outcomes at pathway.ai. Thank you so much, folks. See you soon.